Welcome to another episode of the SUP FM podcast. On this show, we chat with either people from the SUP tribe or to people who can help us to improve our knowledge and to increase our love of both the sport and the water. Every episode is intended to inspire you or to help you to get more deeply immersed in the sport through my conversations with guests who include leading athletes, scientists, explorers, TED speakers, and New York Times best-selling authors. If you're inclined to support the podcast, please subscribe on your podcast platform of choice and on our new YouTube channel. There are a number of rivers out there which are immediately recognised as a place for exploration and adventure, and we previously covered the Yukon and the Yukon 1000 race in past seasons. I got together with a previous guest on the show and their team to work up this episode all about their experiences on that classic adventurers' destination, the River Amazon. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Okay, so what you're about to hear is an immersive account of Kaz Dawson and team as they travel to Peru and get ready and acclimatised before getting out onto the water to take part in the Amazon Challenge race. And to top and tail the episode, we're joined by Kaz Dawson, whose broadcast standard voice you'll hear most in this episode, and who will also give a few thoughts at the start and the end of this adventure. So, Kaz, first, thanks hugely for putting all of this together, and certainly for us it felt like we were there with you throughout, so really appreciate you sharing your adventure with us.
No, thank you. I think when you approached us, it was a bit of an unknown. It was like, how is it all going to work? But I think now we've pulled it all together and we've seen it or heard it. I'm really quite blown away and quite impressed. It's actually brought back little memories of things that sort of happened that I'd kind of forgotten about. You know, you remember all the big things and you sort of tell a story to people. And you end up sort of saying or sort of telling the same story. You're getting a little bit of a patter with it. So to go back and listen, just reignites those magic moments that we had over in Peru.
Well, it's
Yeah.
fantastic, and just to sort of step back a little bit. So you've been on the show a couple of times now, so you may already be familiar
Mhm.
to our listeners. But for those who haven't listened to your previous appearances, could you just give us a quick bio? Because I think when you were interviewed first, you were still fairly new to the sport, but you've done so much since then. And this year, you've been nominated for SUP Connect Woman of the Year as well, and you're right up there in the popular vote. So could you just give a bit of a greatest hits summary?
Okay, so I'm based up in North Wales, and paddling for me started back in about 2018. So that was when I sort of first stepped on a board. And then since then, we kind of went down the route of doing some qualifications, uh, upping and ramping up my adventures and challenges and races. And then we sort of gave birth to Suplas, which would have been around 2021, which I think was when I first came on Sup FM. So that's like 3-4 years ago now.
Mhm.
So a lot's happened. And then since then, we've kind of moved more into sort of the adventure side of things. It's sort of accessible adventure, lots of trips. So we've got a whole summer this summer now packed full of Scandinavia. I'm across there the next 3 times in the next month. So we've got a lot of things like that coming up. But it's been really great because I've been able to take people from their first kind of paddle experiences right through to their first overseas expeditions. So the trips that we've got going out are all Suplas trips. But you know, last year, 2 years ago, these were all people that were nervous beginners on our lake. So part of our journey has been sort of taking people with us,
Mhm.
taking them into those adventures, and then it's also then made me want to go and push and do that bit more. So whilst I've been taking other people out, I've also been trying to keep challenging myself and keep finding the next thing that I can do on a SUP. So it's just been a really great journey. I've met some wonderful people. It's just given me so much more than I ever thought it would be. And I think when I set out Suplas, it wasn't, I don't think I had any idea that it would turn into what it's turned into today. So Just love every minute, and love spending time with people and spending time on the water. Yeah.
Well, the recognition's there in the nomination this year, and also you haven't mentioned another area of your operations which I'm particularly intrigued by, which is the foodie sort of aspect as well. So maybe we can pick that up on another episode in the future. So that's a bit of your bio, but you did complete the Amazon Challenge as a team, and all of whom are featured in this audio diary. And I'm not sure whether they're going to thank you, and you can obviously say anything you like at this point, but I just wanted you to give maybe a little bit of a bio about your team members, so John and Matt.
Okay, so John is my long-suffering partner. He is the behind the scenes of Supla. So but he's always here helping me with like loading kit, getting everything prepped. So he came along, but his actual bag, his specialism is actually sort of filming and recording. He's really good with like all the tech side, making sure I'm organised with things like battery packs and chargers. So he's really, really good at just being super organised and super helpful. And then Matt, I first met Matt, I'm just trying to think when I first met Matt, probably going back about 18 months, 2 years ago. And since then, I've been on a number of trips with him. I've been up to Scotland, I've been to Albania, I've paddled with him up in Wales as well. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off, his kind of quirks. And, he's very, very experienced on the river. He's done lots of guiding. He's also got a lot of experience in the jungle. So that was why we got Matt involved. He spent a lot of time over in Panama and Sri Lanka. So he's used to those kind of tropical climes. So he was kind of our insect, wildlife, anything that wanted to eat us, kill us, sting us kind of expert guru. So so between the three of us, we all actually had some really lovely skills that all complemented each other. We worked really well as a team. The fact, we'd all paddled together previously, it just worked. It worked. And part of the challenge I think we had was Matt was in New Zealand the whole time. So trying to kind of coordinate diaries and get kit organised. We took all of Matt's kit for him, which you'll probably hear in the episode. We just worked. We worked. A good team.
Absolutely, and you can absolutely hear it. So thanks, Kaz. We'll come back to you at the end with some more questions. But for the rest of you, here's the immersive audio diary of Kaz, John and Matt's experiences as they take part in the Amazon Challenge 2024.
So my first voice memo, and thank you to Simon for challenging me with this one. So it's the night before flying out, and I'm at home with my partner John, who is on the trip with us, and Matt, who we're joining, is already in Lima. He's flown directly from New Zealand, where he's been working as a guide. So he'll be joining us out there. But yeah, how are things going? So we are in the throes really of doing the final bit of packing. So it's currently almost 7 p.m. really, and we're flying at 5 o'clock in the morning. We've kind of had all of our kit ready for a good few weeks really. It's been in the spare room, you know how it is. You sort of sprawl it over the beds and you start collecting stuff and organising stuff. Probably what's been a bit of a challenge is I've still been using particularly my paddling kit up until 2 days ago. So things haven't, been able to get too packed away until, I knew all my sessions and everything were done and dusted. But no, packing's gone well. We've got everything kind of covered. Sort of jungle environment is not an environment I am particularly familiar with. So we've had to think about the kit we're taking out, an awful lot of first aid gear, all eventualities, thinking about all the little critters, the things that want to bite you, sting you, just generally cause havoc, the humidity, the sun, hydration. There's a lot there that you probably wouldn't normally think about that we've had to think a little bit extra, a bit harder about. So I think that side of things, we're carrying a lot of kit. But yeah, in terms of gear, there's all the sort of standard paddling stuff I can see in front of me. And then thinking about layers, things to cover ourselves up. It's going to be very warm, very humid, but we need to protect ourselves. So it's thinking about that. So we've got things like boots and gaiters, all the sort of the camp equipment. We're going to be in a tent, actually. We were originally going to go for a hammock option. but with some of the areas we're staying are very sort of sandy, expandy sort of beach areas. So a hammock wouldn't be very good. So we've decided to go for a sort of a really good quality, lightweight, all-enclosed tent that gives us that kind of bug protection. So yeah, we've got an awful lot of gear, awful lot of kit. We're actually taking out with us 5 23 kilo whole bags. And we've also then got a pack of 6 paddles. So they're all 2-piece paddles. We were going to go for slightly smaller sort of 3-piece options. But we've gone for the 2-piece, which have been kindly supplied by Ainsworth. And I think that just gives us a little bit more rigidity, and it's kind of a bit more used to what we're paddling with. So that's what we're taking out. So yeah, there's an awful lot of kit that's going on the plane. I have to add though, that's not all ours. One of the bags is got a board and all of the gear that we've had kindly donated for Matt. So we're taking that out, but it won't be coming back, which is great. And we've got two kind of board bags for us. So that's kind of got most of our food, our board, kind of our Xped kind of kit, and then we've got one bag which is going to be our kind of normal gear, sort of clothes and other bits and pieces. So yeah, 5 bags, all of them McConk's bags, so from boards we've collected, and then McConk's have very kindly supplied us with 3 brand spanking new 14-foot of their Grande touring boards, their touring boards. So that's what we're going to be using to paddle on. So yeah, we've just got so much kit, and that's what I keep thinking. Have we packed too much? Have we packed not enough? But all of this kit is going to be, we can leave a bag behind. So I'd rather have it than not have it. But we have been quite ruthless. We've kind of critiqued each other and tried to kind of pull things apart, really. So yeah, we're just really excited. So we're getting picked up at 2:00 in the morning. I've had quite a busy day today, just because I really want to sleep on that plane. So I've tried to, I went for a really big bike ride this morning. I've just tried to keep really active today. And the plan is to sleep and, try and get through that 16 hours of flights we've got in the next couple of days. Once we get to Lima, we've got 24 hours there, and then we've got a flight then to Cusco. So we'll do that. And then once we're in Cusco, then we've got sort of 4 or 5 days there. So we can acclimatise, hopefully, to the altitude, just a bit of rest and recuperation, buy those final things. So things like gas we haven't got. There's probably a few little fresh items, bits of chocolate, all those little bits we want to take with us that we can't really carry now. But yeah, we're all good. So one thing I've not shared, and this is one thing very few people know about, is up until probably 3 weeks ago, the trip was very, very much in jeopardy. So I'd had really good sort of training, sort of leading up to it. I spent an awful lot of time in the gym, and actually that's one question I've been asked a lot about in terms of how have I got fit, how have I done my training, what have I been doing. So up until 3 weeks ago, it was all going really well. We did the sub 12, went up to Scotland, I did the Spade Challenge. I've done loads of kind of personal paddling. I've been in the gym at least sort of 3-4 times a week. I've been on my bike, doing loads of kind of cardio, all of that stuff that helps. And probably some of you know that I broke my ankle when I was out paddling in Albania in the autumn, so I've had to recover from that, which I did very quickly. So it's really focused me, because I knew I was coming to the end, I was like, right, I've got to get fit, I've got to get strong. So everything was going great. And then 3 weeks ago, I had paddled in Scotland. I was in the Spey, I was driving home, and I said to John, I don't feel well. And then it got worse and worse. And over the few days after Scotland, I ended up in hospital and ended up with pancreatitis, inflamed gallbladder, and emergency surgery to have my gallbladder removed. So it was really touch and go. And I sort of said to John, do you know what? I'm not calling it. I'm just going to see how I recover over the next few weeks. And within 6 days of my operation, I was back in the gym, back on my bike, back paddling. And it's just been the most phenomenal recovery. Luckily, it was keyhole surgery. But yeah, had my gallbladder removed. I was really quite poorly. I also had biliary sepsis. I didn't realise like how serious actually things were. And I remember saying to the surgeon before operation, do I really need this? And he's like, no, people die of this. You've got to get it sorted. So that was a real thing that came out the blue that really kind of jeopardised this trip. So I didn't say anything to Matt. I kept it really quiet. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to see how I recover before I make any decisions. So I pushed it to the last minute. But yeah, it's really surprising. I can't get over how well I've recovered. So that's something that I've not shared with many people. So yeah, it was very touch and go up until a few weeks ago. So we're green light, we're good to go. So spoke to my consultant this week or last week actually. And yeah, he was happy for me to fly and to keep pushing on with things. So yeah, there you go. That was the whole jeopardy of the trip, but we've got over that little thing. So these things are sense tests to say. That's it. It's 2 a.m. Alarm's just gone off. And time to go to the airport. I'm so painfully tired. I was finishing work until midnight. I've been just trying to pump out some project management stuff that I've been doing and just trying to finish some things off. So just trying to get all that done. But yeah, got it done. So 2 hours kip and we're off to the airport. I'll wake up in a minute. But yeah, the day's come. Never thought it would really, but we're going. We're on our way to Lima, to Peru. John's just making a cup of tea now. Still got to find one last pair of trousers, as you do. Can't find them anywhere. Hopefully they're in the cupboard. My dad will be here in the next 15 minutes and we'll be on our way to Manchester. We've made it to the airport. We've got all our bags, our paddles, all our gear, our kit. Just in the queue now, ready to check in. We're flying this morning to Amsterdam. And then we've only got a very short stopover, probably an hour and a half or so. And then we're heading straight out to Lima. So, haven't got very long at all. So, yeah, lots and lots of flying today. I think it's probably around 16 hours that we're going to be in the air. So, a big day. But no, all ready to go. What is it? 3:30 in the morning at the moment. So, we're just in the check-in queue now. So we've made it to Amsterdam. We're in Schiphol. Just enjoying a little Heineken beer. It's 8:42. Having a beer. Second drink of the day. Just because we can. We're just waiting now for our flight to Lima. And we've got about an hour before we board. We're just relaxing and chilling. We might be seeing some of the other SUP paddlers as well on this flight. I think there's a few of us on here, so I know people are coming from different parts of the UK, so hopefully we meet up on this flight. Super excited. It's probably about 14 hours of flying, I think, that we're going to be having ahead of us now. That's our plan for today. So so just a bit more hanging around the airport, but actually so far it's been pretty seamless. Where I'm sat at the moment, I am right by the luggage, so I'm eagerly waiting our bags from Manchester to be loaded onto the plane to Lima. Haven't seen anything yet, but just keeping my eye out. So, hopefully our kit catches us up. There's nothing worse than not having boards. And I know that happened to Tony last year, that some of his bags didn't make the flight. So I am eagle-eyed, making sure that it does. we're just going to keep relaxing and having a good time in the airport. So I'm speaking to you from Lima. We've arrived safely. We arrived last night, got in about 5ish, and did that whole thing of making ourselves go out. So we went out, we met up with Matt, we had a couple of beers, some food, just tried to do a bit of normal stuff in the city in Lima. So that was all great. Then we made it back to the hotel and we both slept like babies for 9.5 hours. We've just woken up now to some weird birds pasturing us outside the window. And yeah, we're going to have some breakfast and get sorted and go for a bit of a walk around Lima. And then we're flying later on today directly to Cusco. So we've got another flight. So we'll be back to the airport, flying again. And then we'll be heading to Cusco, where we'll be then doing some sort of final preparations, a bit of rest and recuperation before hitting the water, which is going to be on the 3rd of June. We get picked up on the 2nd, but it's the 3rd when we get on the river. So just that's kind of where we're at. So we've made it, and all our bags have made it, which I think that was like a biggie. We were all quite anxious about all the kit arriving, and it did. All worked like clockwork so far. So super happy with that. That's where we're up to on our journey so far. We're just in the security queue in Lima Airport, about to fly to Cusco, and just had the most hilarious moment where a lady in front of us got her suitcase stuck in one of those little devices that kind of measures the size of your bag. So we watched for a bit and they weren't having any luck getting it out, and John the engineer, being the engineer, got involved, and with a penknife and some zip ties and a lot of huffing and puffing, it even involved him taking his coat off, we ended up getting the bag out, which was quite hilarious to watch. And then we were all rewarded with a load of chocolate. So that was our good deed for the day today, doing some bag rescue services in Lima.
Hi, yes.
We are in Cusco. So what day are we on today? It's the 30th. It's really just gorgeous wall-to-wall sunshine. Lots of festivals going on in Cusco today. I'm with Matt and John, so say hello, guys.
Hello, hello. Hello.
And we've just been given, each of us, a little llama good luck charm. So we're going to be taking them on our boards with us down the Amazon. Super duper cute. And then we've all been given friendship bands as well.
We're all friends.
Yay,
paddle friends.
So we're going to go and have a little look at, I don't know if you hear the music in the background, there's like a bit of a festival going on in Cusco. And then I think we're going to go, and I know it's a bit...
guinea pigs.
Oh, Matt, I know it's controversial, but they're having koi, which is guinea pig in Spanish. So we're going to go and sample perhaps some guinea pigs and let you know how they taste. The town is absolutely buzzing today, and glorious wall-to-wall sunshine. We've overcome altitude sickness. We seem to be doing really well. We haven't really succumbed to it. We didn't land till quite late yesterday. So we're just enjoying our travel. So another day of R&R, and just relaxing really, getting ready for our trip, which we're going to be picked up in 2 days' time. So just enjoying Cusco. We're currently walking through this fantastic chicken and kind of guinea pig feast. Just hundreds, thousands even of local people just tucking into guinea pig and chicken, all sort of socialising with friends and family, having just a really great time. And we're just walking around now trying to find somewhere we can join them and sit in and sample some of these local delights. But the smells and it's just fantastic to see. Fantastic.
We are still in Cusco, walking back to our hotel at the moment. We had alpaca burgers in a small restaurant where we met the German team as well. And now it's ice cream time.
We're in a local market in Cusco, eating lunch with the locals. What's it called? El Inter, Don Jamin, Caldosa and extras. Basically everything on the menu is like £4. But we've just sat down and basically eaten like kings with like, I would describe it as like farmyard soup. It tasted like farmyard animals. And John's just eaten some crazy ribs off, we don't know what animal. And
it's like the Flintstone ribs.
Flintstone ribs. And then Matt's just popped an eyeball on a fish, and I think he's got some local trout, I think, by the looks of it.
Yep, I have an entire trout, and I've eaten both eyeballs already. Super tasty.
So entire trout, both eyeballs. Behind us we've got some guy just playing a guitar, Sultans of Swing, but in Spanish. This place is just so super crazy. We've just really enjoyed it, because I know we've got the challenge coming up now. We've only got a day away, but it's helped us certainly get over our altitude sickness. We've sampled guinea pig, we've sampled alpaca, we've made some chocolates this morning. We've just like thrown ourselves into Cusco and this sort of Peruvian culture really, and just had a really good couple of days, just getting rested up, a bit of fun, and yeah, seeing the city really. We're going to take some supplies. We might take a bit of chocolate to the rainforest, as Matt is about to tuck into another eyeball. Matt!
It's going to go down well. Slightly harder than the others.
But yeah, you can probably just hear how crazy this place is. But yeah, we've just tried to eat all the local food and meet as many local people as possible, and it's just been a great experience so far.
We have climbed a big hill out of Cusco to a set of Incan ruins called Sexy Woman, and we're definitely not out of breath. The air is lovely and thick up here, and we're all doing fine.
We're blown out our arses more like.
The recording doesn't need to know that.
Can you hear the noise in the background? Dogs. And don't get me wrong, I love dogs. I've got 2 of my own dogs. But all night, those dogs, I'm trying not to swear, have been making a racket. I've probably been awake for the last 3 hours, which equates to about 3 a.m. I've been awake since. Not great, really, considering it's the night.
Good night sleep.
Yeah, exactly. It's our last good night's sleep. So, but yeah, I suppose we've got to get used to it. The jungle's going to be noisy. But yeah, barking dogs is a different kind of noise, a really annoying noise. So today's the day. We are heading to the Amazon. We're just getting our bags now from the hotel, so it involves negotiating quite a large 3-flight of stairs to get our kit down. We've got a taxi driver in the bottom that's turned up in the world's tiniest car. We tried to get a bigger one, but somewhere got lost in translation. So I'm going to go with all the kit, and then the boys are going to walk across and come and meet us. But they're, just coming down now with all the kit. But yeah, super excited. I feel actually a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous, but a bit of, what's the word? Trepidation about kind of what's ahead of us, and just understanding the rainforest, the river. There's a massive unknown. It's a brand new environment that we've not paddled in before. So there's lots of planning. So today involves a big bus journey. There's going to be training tonight, planning sessions. And then tomorrow there's going to be more classroom kind of training, and then we're going to be doing some river training, a lot of safety stuff. And then, we'll be sort of on our merry way then. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening now.
Ooh, adventure.
Matt just bringing the last suitcase down the steps. But yeah, really, really excited. But I'll try and get some pieces off Matt and John now in terms of how they feel.
So we just sat here in the hotel waiting for our taxi to pick us up. We've got our baggage all down from our room, all packed up, ready for us to unpack again and get ready for our adventures. Matt was wondering why his bag was so much tighter than before. It could be because he bought an entire poncho, a woolen one, just for bants.
You're jealous because you didn't buy one.
That's very true. I did buy a woolen jumper, and we have bought lots of alpaca stuff to actually go through. The thing that's probably not been said so far is that I have had quite an upset tummy. This has not been a fun experience for the past 24 hours. And I don't think I'm quite through with checking where the closest toilet is. So Kaz and Matt have been very accommodating to make sure I'm all good. But it's been a bit of a challenge.
We've arrived. We're in the Manu Biological Station after a 6-hour drive over the Andes. So we came up one side and went down the other. So we're now officially in the Amazon basin. Climbed almost 4,000 metres. So we started off about 3.5 in Cusco. So another 500 metres or so, went right over the top, back down. We're currently at about 600 metres. So at the Manu Biological Station, which is a station we've been raising some money for, and they do amazing research into the rainforests and the creatures that live here. It was an incredible bush ride, as I said before. And actually, when you were coming down into we called it like the cloud forest, every single kind of hairpin bend that we came around, and it was a really sort of steep and kind of creeping path. There was like just a new layer of like diversity. Every few hundred metres you could see new trees, new plants that were getting introduced as you sort of worked your way down. And the road at times was quite sort of treacherous. There was lots of kind of landslides and bits where it had completely got washed away. And then areas where there were sort of waterfalls really close by. So just some absolutely spectacular scenery. So yeah, even though we were in the van for 6 hours, just a really sort of magical experience. And I think that kind of makes it, and I think it sort of emphasises how remote we are really out in the forest. And yeah, basically in the middle of nowhere. So it's just sort of added to that. So yeah, we've had a flight, 2 flights and a car drive to get here. So yeah, we've all settled in well. We're now in our rooms, just waiting for supper really. Just been for a little wander, little leg stretch. We've just seen some fantastic hummingbirds feeding on the little feeders. And we've put our flag up for our sponsors in our briefing hall where we're going to be meeting later. And yeah, it's really hot, really humid, really hot and humid. And yeah, just so excited to get on the river. We're currently next to a downplane at Manu Biological Station, watching fruit bats emerge from the cockpit and the back entry door, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, John and Matt are here as well, and we're just sort of settling in really. We've just got to our rooms, dropped our kit off, getting ready for the briefing and having some supper tonight. But yeah, Matt, how have you found today?
Today's been a lot of sitting down on the bus, but the views out the window spectacular. We've driven along valleys and just straight through rainforest beauty. It's been gorgeous, and another bat just flew out of the cockpit.
And John, how have you found today?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's worth the drive. Like there's nothing that would have kept me away. Just to be here, literally in the humidity that hits you like a torrent, the sounds that are just singing around you, and just seeing the fauna and everything that you would expect the rainforest to be, just literally being there, just magical.
It is magical. I think tonight is just going to be just getting comfy really, and getting to know our surroundings, and
Hello, quick voice note. We are currently in a shack and Kaz is lying in her bed, sticking a foot out from under a fly net so that John can rub foot powder on it. There you go, there's my update. Toodaloo. Hello and good morning. It is about 6:15 in the morning and I am walking down one of the tracks at the Manu Biolab Research Centre, which is where we're staying for the next 2 nights and is also one of the fantastic charities that we're raising money for, which is helping to preserve the lungs of the earth, the Amazon rainforest. This track is beautiful. Trees, wildlife, the sounds, everything. Really looking forward to getting on the water today.
It's Monday the 3rd, so we'll be heading on the water tomorrow. But we've had our first night in Manu Biological Station. Slept so incredibly well. Last couple of nights we haven't had the best of sleep. So it was great to actually get some good decent shut-eye. But today is going to be a day full of training and nav and those last-minute checks and bits of supplies. So we're going to be doing some SUP training on the river, so just checking our kit, how it's secured, board flips, self-rescue, just kind of refreshing all of those skills. So they're sort of splitting the canoes and the SUPs out today, so we're going to be doing a bit more personalised training. We're then going to be doing a bit of nav training, so we downloaded all the GPX files last night. So we'll be getting our trackers and just running through all the safety protocols. So on the water with us, there's a kind of a 1-to-4 ratio in terms of kind of safety boats. So they're going to be on the river really keeping us safe if there was to be an issue. But they won't be with us in a sense, they'll be somewhere around. And then, opportunities to pop to town, get some supplies. And just do this last minute checks really, plenty of fluids, plenty of food. Sorry, I'm yawning because I'm still lying in bed under my mozzie net and it's just turned 6 a.m. So that's today, but we've just been trying to get adjusted the last few days, trying to get up earlier and trying to go to bed earlier just to try and help with our days paddling. It's only just got light here now, but it does get dark very early, so trying to just make that switch to our bodies and our ability to paddle and maximise on light is kind of there. But yeah, had a really good night's sleep. As I said, I got woken up at 4:30 with howler monkeys, which was quite funny. Not quite like the blackbirds we have at home. It's a bit of a different sound to get used to. But really still quite excited. Looking forward to just getting prepped and getting on the water. Lots of chat over dinner last night and just trying to understand the river, with it being big and how it kind of behaves. Lots of things we just be aware of, so just trying to absorb as much as we can in terms of the information and just really keen to get going now, get out there and get moving.
So we are currently stood at the side of the river. We've just had our first taste of Amazon water, not literally though. It was training today. We had to spin our boards, make sure nothing fell off. Then we needed to fall off and climb back on. And we've just spent the last half hour bouncing down a lovely little section with a few little play spots. And we had one of the local families appear at the side to watch us on our weird stand-up paddleboards going down a river.
It's been amazing. I might have fallen off a couple more times just to do the flip test because it is so lovely and warm and then cool in the water. None of those fish that we're talking about at the moment, which is great news.
We've had a fabulous day today, pretty long day, and we're all just hunkering down now for the night under our mosquito nets. But today we've all been out on the water, so the canoes and the SUPs, we've been out testing kit. We've been focusing an awful lot on safety, and we've also been focusing on the nav side of things. So this morning, we loaded our boards up, went in a Unimog, which is pretty cool, crossed the river, got a little bit above where the start point's going to be tomorrow, but it made us basically get out on the water and get to test out some kit. So we sort of set everything up as we would do for our paddle for the next few days, and tested it. So board flips, self-rescues, just generally sort of brushing up and sharpening up on some skills, and just ran probably a sort of 2-3 kilometre section, just getting a feel for how the river behaved. A very big river, very boily, lots of tributaries coming in. Also interesting to paddle alongside our safety boats. And these are like traditional kind of Amazonian canoes, so you can probably imagine what they're like, but they've got these really long sort of propellers on the back on these sort of long sort of metal propeller shafts basically. So that combo with SUP is pretty lethal. So we were kind of working with them, teaching them about what we do. They were telling us about what they do, learning about things like safety signals, when we do need assistance, when we don't need assistance. So it's just a really useful day to get everything sort of sorted. And then once we come back from there, we then really got into the nitty-gritty of sort of safety and nav. So we all got issued our Garmin InReach, just sort of set everything up on that. We did a little bit of a test with it just to check everything was working with messaging, made sure all the GPX folders that we downloaded for the route were all working, and then we also followed them up with kind of good old paper maps, shall we say. So just marked all of them up. Probably one of the bigger challenges is how sort of braided the river's going to be ahead. And there's a lot of data, about sort of right, left channel. Some of them are fully blocked, some of them have got sort of different hazards in. So trying to make those right choices in enough time. So that's probably one thing that I'm a little apprehensive about, is just making sure that those decisions are the right ones, because if not, it can mean there's some big walks across some sort of shingle banks ahead of us, or potentially, entrapment hazards, etc. So, we want to be kind of on the ball with that. We also went through some of the safety stuff in terms of evacuation and when things go wrong. So everything's kind of covered. So hoping, we've been very thorough on that side. And then probably one of the highlights of the day as well was visiting the Manu biological station. So where we're staying is actually a full research centre, and they're doing some really cool research around sandflies and dung beetles, and looking at the effects of climate change. So we got to meet some of the team this evening and had a tour around the brand new laboratories, which have just opened a couple of weeks ago. So everybody that's donated money to us, that's where part of the money has gone to the biological station to help fund research, particularly around insects in the rainforest. And this is probably one of the leading places in probably the whole of the world, really, that's doing pretty impressive stuff in terms of rainforest conservation. So thank you to everybody that's donated there. Tomorrow we will be officially starting the race. It feels like we've been saying it's tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow. So we will be heading out, and it's quite a short day, I would say. Short. For us, it seems short. It's 29 kilometres, so should be just a few hours paddling, really, because the river is going at quite a lick. It's probably going about 10k an hour. It's just its flow. So with a bit of paddling, we should be getting there pretty prompto. But yeah, I think everybody's pretty set. We've just done some last minute preparations now. All the water bags are filled. Yeah, everything's kind of ready to go. So it's just a good breakfast in the morning, a shower, and on our merry way to the start line. We left our boards actually at the start line. Some of the local community are looking after them and camping with them tonight. So yeah, hopefully all is good down there. But no, excited, a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous, but a little bit of apprehension maybe. 6 days out, no contact. There's a lot of paddling ahead of us, and particularly with the temperatures, humidity, I think it's going to be tough. So yeah, we're looking forward for that. But yeah, we've got a great bunch of people, the paddleboarders, the canoeists, everybody's in good spirits, and lots of people from all different corners of the globe paddling here. So yeah, that's today. So today, we've achieved a lot, but yeah, tomorrow is when the fun really starts. And yeah, we've just been sharing actually the live track with lots of different people, friends and family. So yeah, I know you'll be listening to this afterwards, but hopefully you guys have caught us on the tracker and been able to keep up to date with our progress.
Greetings all! We are currently over halfway through our first day on the Amazon. We are cruising down. We've had a few bigger rapids, and they've been pretty epic and great fun. The river is big volume, bouncy white water. There are boils, there are whirlpools. It is swirling in all the directions, and we are having an absolute ball on it. The sun is out, the birds are singing, the butterflies are flappering. I don't know if flappering is a word, but I'm going to power through with it being a word. And yeah, life is pretty sweet right now. Hope you're doing well.
We're paddling the Amazon, the Amazon, the Amazon. We're paddling the Amazon, the Amazon, the Amazon. We're paddling the Amazon, the Amazon, the Amazon. We're paddling the Amazon, the Amazon, the Amazon.
So guys, do you feel sorry for me? I've had to put up with that for over 40 kilometres today. These two have just been hilarious. They've just been, Matt and John, just the terrible twosome today. We started this morning, I think it was about 10 when we hit the water, Manu Biological Station, just a short drive from there. And we jumped on and quickly hit probably our biggest rapid of the day, I would say, that first one. Do you agree, boys?
I agree, it was a pretty good start.
It was a funky one.
Yeah, a funky one. So I started how I mean to go on. Had a really great spectacular swim on the first rapid. But yeah, we basically stepped on the water and it was tonking. And within about 100 metres, we were straight on to basically a grade 3 rapid, which we had great fun with. But everything was really good. I did my full board flip, recovered, and actually it was good to have a swim early on because yeah, it's good. But yeah, we've had lots of thrills and spills today. We've had to rescue another paddler. Matt did a sterling job with his rope work, pull him in the side. So we kind of did our bit as a team there and doing some recovery.
Shouty Matt.
Very shouty Matt, giving his instructions, his river Matt kicking in. We've had just generally a lovely day going down. You can't, Matt. What are you saying?
I said some heroes wear buoyancy aids.
Oh, some heroes wear buoyancy aids. That's math for you. And then we drifted down the river. We had a lovely lunch stop, and where we stopped on this beach, there were big cat footprints. So that was quite cool to see. What I think impressed me today was the just the size of like the boils and the eddy lines. It was just, yeah, big. Just it's a big river. So yeah, just great how it kind of behaved, and all the different braids and picking the right routes. I'm sure we did a few more K than some of the other teams. But yeah, and then we've come to stay with one of the communities tonight. They've got like a little eco kind of tourism area. And we visited them, and we've got a little sort of shack hut that we're staying in tonight. Went for a walk up to a waterfall, which is quite deep into the rainforest. Bit of a swim. And then we found these fantastic hot springs. So where we are in the middle of the rainforest, they've actually got hot springs. So we went there to sort of ease our muscles after I wouldn't say a long day's paddling, because I know we've got longer days coming up. But at least we're kind of below the 300 mark now, kilometres left. We've managed to do that. So that's a good thing. Tonight, and I don't know, the boys can chip in here. Actually, we're all in bed together. 1, 2, 3, not in bed together, but we're in a room together.
What happens on X bed stays on X bed.
Yeah, exactly, Matt. But what have we all had tonight, guys? What have we had done?
We've had some light tattoos done with the pulp of a fruit that, if you pick it like really young, allows it to then just dye really dark green black. So we've had tribal patterns put down our arms and our hands completely covered. So we've been told that it takes 12 hours to cure, and when we wake up in the morning, we'll probably have very dark lines in tribal patterns down our arms and very dark hands.
I think a couple of us are actually worried because we've like wiped our faces and mopped our brow tonight when we've been sat by the campfire. I wouldn't be surprised as well if we've got black face or like dye or whatever on us, like from where we've like rubbed our sweat away. So yeah, we'll see what beholds. Tomorrow is a short day, so day 2 is 26k, and we're going to be staying with a different community tomorrow night. So yeah, hopefully, excuse me, you can tell I'm tired. Hopefully tomorrow, again, another good day's paddling. We've got a few more, I think, slightly larger rapids in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow is like the second big kind of rapido kind of day. By day 3 then, the river really does start becoming more braided and flat, and it's going to be a bit more of a slog paddle wise, really. So
we also have Cayman Alley to go through tomorrow.
Oh, we do have Cayman Alley, don't we? That left that we've got to take. So Cayman Alley, we'll let you know what Cayman Alley is all about. Yeah, we've got Cayman Alley. What else have we got tomorrow?
Well, I'm more impressed that these paddle boards and the gear that we've got is just working like a dream. The paddle boards that we've got from Andy McConk are fantastic. They're working and doing exactly as they're meant to do. We've been through big water today, just pumping through it, and we've done a good number of kilometres on them, and they're just brilliant, working like an absolute dream. Ainsworth with our paddles have been fantastic as well. They're just really pleasurable to paddle with. We've had a great time with that. And then tonight we've been using our exposure lights, which are brilliant. Like half of our time we're not on the water and it's dark for 12 hours in the jungle. So we really needed to have some decent lighting solutions, and we're really happy to have all of our sponsors like just really doing some really great things for us.
And I got to use the Life Systems first aid kit today when I burnt my finger on the stove. So it's always good to test everything.
Yeah, we did actually. We have used a lot of our kit today, which is good. And we'll try and share some photographs of like some of the items, but everything is working really, really well. So yeah, that's day one done and dusted.
We
Oh,
can't
go
forget
on.
the Mustang bags.
Oh no,
Props.
the Mustang bags have been brilliant. haven't
Everything's
they?
dry.
Yeah.
Everything is dry.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll leave you to the sounds of frogs, toads, and the occasional fire alarm bird, as John has named it.